Hello. Hi everybody, and welcome to the program, and hello from Dusty, the 18-year-old cat. Very good boy. Bit squiggly though, wants to get away. Hello to wherever you are today. We're going to have a bit of a wide-ranging chat because there are a lot of things happening at the moment. None of them of themselves are going to sort of really change everything. But when you put them all together, they start to make Thailand look a little bit compromised at the moment. Now, living here, and I have not left the country since July last year, I'm perfectly happy here. My day-to-day life doesn't seem to be any markedly different than it was some 15 months ago. By the way, Steve Ross is back in Thailand. And we'll be talking to him on Grumpy Old Men tomorrow. I'll show you some texts between me and Steve. Anyway, that's tomorrow's Grumpy Old Men. But this is a Banyan Tide shirt. Thank you very much to Banyan Tide. I'll put a link in the description of the video after the program if you'd like to buy yourself a Banyan Tide shirt. So here's a question for you, and I'll tell you in 5 minutes. What is this? What is this thing sitting on my desk? It's a bit of a show and tell this morning. I thought I'd show you. Now, if you are watching this after we did the live program, you're probably going to complain that I'm talking about too many topics. I'm meandering, I'm yakking, I'm carrying on like a pork chop. But there are plenty of things to talk about. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about the changes to the alcohol laws in Thailand. And one of them is sort of profound, but it's good news for you, not bad news. Although the haters will find plenty of reasons to hate on the change. The second is the situation at the Thai-Cambodian border, which is at the moment probably worse than it's ever been since July. And the other one is changes to immigration. And here again, the haters will be going, oh, again? Now, these are really changes not to the visa exemption program, not to the long stay visas, but they're changes to the border bounces or visa extensions, visa exemption extensions. It's all a bit complicated, but I'll do my best to explain it well. Do you still know what this is? Sunset Beer says, not left the country since July last year. I thought you were in Malaysia a couple of months ago. You're absolutely right. I was in Malaysia. Thank you very much for reminding me. I had to go to Malaysia to get a new visa. I didn't sort of consider that a trip as a tourist. So I was in Kazakhstan in July last year. The trips to Malaysia were, well, to Penang specifically, were just to organise a new visa, which I've sort of discussed in some length. It didn't go as smoothly as it was meant to go, but in the end, I have a new visa, which I would recommend to all the people that are saying, oh, it's so difficult now to do these extensions, and you can't do visa runs and border runs, and life's just got so complicated. If you want to come to Thailand for a long time, get a proper visa. Don't try and game the system by using border bounces and visa runs and just seeing how far you can push the immigration system. You might get away with that for a while, but really you don't feel very settled at any time. You might have a bit of fun, but you'll just always be looking over your shoulder or checking the date in your passport every 5 minutes, not 100% sure that you're allowed to stay in Thailand. So that's the best advice I can give anybody that wants to come to Thailand for, a long time, and I'm talking about more than 60, 90 days. If you want to come here for a year, if you want to live here for a year, get a visa. There are so many different types of visas you can get now. I think the variety of visas is part of the problem. You need to do a bit of homework to find out the visa that's going to suit you. If anybody wants to discuss different visas, I'm happy to do so. Trip on this thinks this is an air cleaner. If it was, it's not a very big one, but good guess, Trip, on this. You are wrong. What else do people think it is? They're now cracking down on visa runs. Just know that. Thank you very much to Lance Link. And I'll be going through some of these specific words that have come out of the Immigration Department over the past couple of weeks, just so that people watching here will know. So we're talking about booze, border bouncers and border battles, because there's been plenty of them. I'll also be talking specifically to the people that have taken the trouble to join us this morning, and community, it'll be some sort of 300-400 people, and it's great to have you with us. Do you know what this is? Come on. Battery backup. Trip on this. You're doing well. You're coming up with all the guesses, and that's something I'd actually be very interested in, is a good battery backup. I have been shopping around, sort of keep on waiting for the latest technology and thinking, I'll just wait another couple of months. Were you on 3AW, says Lance Link. Yes, I was. It's not a battery backup. The visa situation, I don't see this as anything new. The rules have been there. They will now be more strictly enforced. Cannot see any issue for bona fide tourists. Sunset Beers, well, they sort of have made some changes. So this is not just saying that the rules have already been there. The rules for extensions of visa exemptions have been changed, and we'll go through those soon. My guess is that it's a new engine for the EV. Wouldn't get you far. It's not very big. I don't think we call them engines on EVs. I think we call them motors. Something that I've been told 1,000 times. I know for all those people that are waiting for my EV video, I've now got the 20,000k service this week, and I've now had it for over a year. So when you do see the video, it won't just be getting in a brand new car and just thinking, oh, this is nice, this is nice. I can actually give you a very qualified view of how I think about the car 12 months down the track. Got all the animals coming to say hello. Come on, what is this, everybody? Someone's going to get it right. Is it a NAS? N-A-S. I don't even know what an NAS is. Wow, you're a Melbourne celebrity. No, I live here in Thailand. Oh, you have a new pic in the background. Yes, this is my yacht. I built this in 1983. I designed and built the yacht. It was a racing yacht, and built out of strip plank cedar and fiberglass. What was the system called? 4 letters, the something system, the West system. Although we didn't use West system epoxies. So yeah, I designed the boat, we built the boat. I had a boat builder to help me, but I was there every day, hands up to here with fiberglass and stuff. Yeah, we won a lot of races in it. The boat was called Matt Bianco, and I had it for about 10 years, and I sort of, cut the front off and add a new bit on, and we put a new stern on, a new rudder. I think we had 3 keels and 2 different masts over the time of owning the boat. It was very, very radical for its day. Isn't that a backup battery, like a Jackery or something, says Croydrocons. No, it's not. Network attached storage. No. Oh, I see. Network attached storage. Hard drive backup. No. Oh, it'd be a very, very big hard drive backup. Nothing I do is important enough to back up in anything so salubrious. YouTube changed my name. Strange. Anyone have their name changed? I don't know. Anybody out there in the comment section had their name changed? I will get to the topics that we're going to talk about today, but really this is the people who are here live. It's their program. Morning, everyone, says ESC. Chris looks like a something or other. Looks like a subwoofer from Stranger Things. Guzzy Jack says it's a 3D printer to make your own shirts. Very good. Sydney to Hobart race. No, I didn't race this yacht. It's not already big enough for the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. The boat I have had after this, which was called Longitude, We did the Melbourne to Hobart yacht race, and we won that race across the line and on handicap in 1999. Yes, you can check that on the internet. We've all heard that happen, been confusing ourselves. Air fryer, says Norse Clown Phone Fam. No, it's not an air fryer. Although I think air fryer is something I'd be interested in getting. It's an uninterruptible power supply, a UPS. We've got Uncle Bobby who thinks it's an air fryer as well. So no, it's not. Yes, my name is Eurovision Chris, but YouTube changed my display name to my @name instead of my display name. James Johnson thinks it's a hard drive. No, it's not a hard drive. So a quick peek, there you go, a little bit more, you can see of it there. A couple more minutes and we'll tell you what it is. Air fryers are the bomb. Two things that are sort of relatively new, say over the past 10 years, that people have tried, new technologies, and once they use them or once they buy them, people will never go back. EVs and air fryers. Once you've got an air fryer, you just become a disciple for air fryer technology and the cooking abilities. Now, when it comes to EVs, I think it's 92% of people that drive EVs say they will never purchase an internal combustion engine ever again. I'd put myself in that particular category because I'm very, very happy with my EV. Humidifier, says Keith Morton. No, it's not a humidifier. It may work as a humidifier incidentally, but it's not a humidifier. Air fried chips are shit. I think it depends how you cook them. If you try and cook them the way they were prepared for, perhaps throwing into a fryer, they may not end up the way that you expect them. Now let's start by talking about the changes to the border. Got to be careful not to show the person's face. This is going to be a little bit. Oh, it doesn't really matter. This will be a little bit tricky. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Go to the other screen. And it was posted by George Anderson, who works for ASEAN now. And it was an official announcement, updated visa extension regulations. So if you come into Thailand without a visa, you will get stamped in with a visa exemption. For most of you, the vast majority of you, that's going to be 93 countries, you'll get a 60-day visa exemption. It's not a visa, it's basically a stamp without a visa. You'll be allowed to stay for 60 days. Then in the past, you've been able to extend that for another 30 days. And this is where the changes have been made. So the visa exemption time, the 60 days, is exactly the same. If you don't come to Thailand with a visa, you will get a visa exemption stamp, which you can then extend. And this is where the details come in. So effective from the 13th of November 2025, Immigration Bureau introduced new regulations regarding visa exemptions, visa extensions. Visa extensions are now limited to 2 times per calendar year. The visa extensions only 2 times in a calendar year. You can still come in under visa exemption more often, as long as you're not coming in continuously. If you are trying to sort of leave the country and come back, under visa exemption, you're going to be stopped after your second or third time, and the Immigration Department are perfectly entitled to say, why don't you have a proper visa? So that's what we're going to be talking about. Don't get exemption and extension mixed up. So you're only going to be entitled to get 2 visa extensions each year, not exemptions, extensions. Number 2, the first extension can be for 30 days of stay. The second extension will only be a 7-day stay. So it used to be that you'd be able to get a 30-day stay, leave a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, come back to another 60 days and get another 30-day extension. But the second time you come in, you'll now only get, in a calendar year, a 7-day extension which is sort of hardly worth it, having to traipse all the way down to your local immigration office, stand in line only to get a 7-day extension and probably a lecture from the immigration officer to boot. So, yeah, it's the extensions that are being changed here. Number 4, foreign nationals entering Thailand via a land border are not eligible for visa extensions. So if you come to Thailand through a land border, it won't be Thailand, Cambodia at the moment, but there's not many left, are there? Thailand, Myanmar, no, you're not going to get through there. Thailand, Malaysia, yes, and also Thailand, Laos. So they're 2 land borders that are open at the moment and easy to get through. If you arrive from those countries without a visa, you'll get a 60-day visa extension. But it says here, if you come in through a land border, you can't get an extension. You can stay for that 60 days, but then you'll have to leave. You cannot get an extension if you come through a land border. I'm trying to make this as clear as I possibly can. And then number 5, visa extensions will not be granted to individuals who depart and re-enter Thailand on the same day. So even if you fly out of Thailand, you say, okay, I'm going to do a border bounce. I've got my... will not be granted to individuals who depart. Visa extensions will not be granted to individuals who depart and... Okay, so if you leave the country, you fly to KL, you've had a visa exemption, you come back and you get another visa exemption. If you come back on the same day, you cannot get an extension to that visa exemption. So, is that clear? Don't get extensions confused with exemption. So this is just the extension of your visa exemption. Oh God, I know it sounds complicated, but it's not really. The clampdown is on visa extensions, not on visa exemptions or visa-free arrivals. Bill G. Hi, Bill says, it seems to me that 180 days is the line in the sand with all of this visa immigration issues. Once a person passes 180 days, their residency status changes and tax status as well. Well, yes, 180 days is specific to your tax residency, and you are considered a tax resident if you stay more than 180 days in a calendar year. But there are so many different ways that you could be exiting Thailand and coming back. Now, let's say you work on the oil, what do they call them? The oil drill things out in the ocean. You may be one of those workers. I think you work for 6 weeks, then you have a holiday for 6 weeks. Say that's what you do. So if you go out and you work on the oil rig for 6 weeks, and then you come to Thailand for 6 weeks, which is less than 60 days anyway, and then you go back to the oil rig for 6 weeks and then come back to Thailand, you could pretty much do that in perpetuity, because you're not staying for 60 days, darting across the border and coming back for another 60 days, going across the border another 60 days, etc. So you're actually trying to live long term in Thailand, but you're trying to do it on a visa exemption. But if you are travelling around Southeast Asia and you pop into Thailand for a month here and a month there, then you leave for a couple of months, maybe go back to your home country, come back to Thailand for a few weeks, then go somewhere else, that's not going to be affected. You'll be able to enter Thailand each time, probably more than 3-4 times a year, because you're not abusing the system, you're using the system as a tourist. But if you change from that in the mindset of the immigration officer, such that you are trying to use visa exemptions as a way to stay in Thailand long term, then you've crossed over the line, and they're going to say to you, get a long stay visa, get a Thailand elite visa, get a DTV, get a retirement visa, get married, get a marriage visa. I wouldn't get married just for the purposes of being able to stay in Thailand long term, because there are other challenges you may have to face in that particular issue. There's also the LTR, the long-term residency visa. And there are 6 categories in that. They're all called, I think they're called the Smart Visa, and they're issued by the Board of Investment. So there's so many different ways that you can stay in Thailand long term. You can apply for a tourism visa back in your home country. So when you come to Thailand, you've got that visa stamp in your book. You don't have to rely on visa exemption. Then, assumedly, you could fly back to your home country and apply for another tourist visa, which is an actual visa. It's not exemption, it's a visa. A lot of people are going to be saying education visas are another long-term visa. So depending on the institution, you might be teaching, for example, or you might be doing a course in Thai. They're a bit harder to get than they used to be. A lot of people were abusing the ED visas. And this is the point. Thailand has become so popular that a lot of people are just abusing the system. And it's that 1% of people abusing the system that's making it difficult for everybody else. Bottom dollar, I can guarantee that Vietnam and Philippines, which are the hot go-to places for people who sort of want to live a cheaper life or want an easier visa situation, they will have exactly the same problems. And they're also going to have arising problems with these scam gangs. If they have easy access to visas for people to go to their countries, you can guarantee they're going to have these sort of problems, and they're going to have to tighten up their visa situation as well. Learn Thai, says Mr. DJL. So you could do that under an ED visa, and in those situations, the institution usually applies for the visa for you. You, of course, have to pay the fees. These days, you do actually have to attend the courses. In the old days, people used to get an institution, they'd pay the money, they'd get the ED visa, and they'd never attend any of the courses, but these days you sort of have to. So you can enter and leave Thailand more than 2 times. Well, yes, as long as you're not doing it with continuity, such that you're trying to use the visa exemption as a way to basically live in Thailand almost full time. So if you come to Thailand, you get a 60-day stamp, you leave Thailand for a month, you come back for another 60 days, then you go out for 2 months, and then you come back. That's 3 times in a year, and there won't be any problem with that. It's when you're trying to do it as a de facto long stay visa that the immigration department are going to start asking questions and raising eyebrows. It's a power station or projector. Okay, Justin Barber, you are correct. It is, in fact, a video projector. So here it is. This is called a Wanbo, and it is a video projector. And it's got a great big speaker. It's got speakers in the back as well. It's got a connection for USB. You can put your headphones in. It's got an HDMI port. And it is a very good quality de facto TV. I'll tell you why I got it. I used to have a 72-inch, 75-inch TV, but after a year sitting in this room, which basically has got these huge vents at the front and the back, and the weather comes in. So if there's humidity outside, there's exactly the same amount of humidity inside. And the poor TV just rusted and decided it didn't want to work anymore. And we couldn't get it fixed, although we tried. So, a 75-inch TV is going to cost you 25,000 baht, 30, 35, 40,000 baht. And I thought, oh, God. So I did a bit of investigation and I thought, video projectors have improved a lot. I didn't realise how much they'd improved. So this is a Wanbo Mozart Pro 1. Not to be confused with any other Wanbo projector. I've even got a photo of it here somewhere. There we go. So I can go to that. That's the Wanbo Mozart 1 Pro projector. And as you can see, it's quite compact. So you just plug it in and point it at a screen. I'll get to the screen in just a moment. But these are about, well, look, you can get different prices. I got this from Lazada for about 13,000 baht, and I projected onto a 100-inch screen. So I've ended up with a really theatrical situation. Now, if you want to watch the TV during the day, this is useless. You'll see an image, but it's not a particularly good image. This is for nighttime. So if you're thinking of, oh wow, I'm going to get a projector and have a great big image for a cheap price, well yes, but only when it's dark. So unless you've got a specific room or you can't draw the curtains, don't try and do this in the daylight because the picture is not good. But it's got built-in Android TV, which is like sort of a Google TV, so it comes up with all your Netflix and YouTube, and you can put Apple TV on there. You can add any apps that you want to link through to your favourite streamers. So the remote control is very sort of compact and small, and you can use this to adjust the picture if you want and change the colour and all those things. But also you can go in and navigate through your Netflix and all the different apps. I mostly use HBO Max, Netflix and YouTube. They're my sort of three preferred streamers, and they all come up on the Android screen when you turn it on. It takes about 30 seconds to boot up. It has an autofocus, and it also determines the edges of the screen. You can put it onto a white wall and it'll work 90%. But if you want a really good picture, then you should get, where are we here? Something like this, which is a dedicated, it's called an ALS screen. Now, I didn't pay 14,000 for mine, I paid about 8. I've got a 100-inch screen, but it is that same sort of silvery grey surface with a black border around the edge, and it all comes in a sort of a long box with a pair of white gloves as well, because you don't want to get your fingerprints all over the screen. Easy enough to clean with a warm washcloth. But I've now got a 100-inch screen. This is way bright enough for a 100-inch. If you want to get up to, say, 120-inch, you're probably pushing the picture a bit too far. But for up to 100 inches, this is great. And you get a full theatre experience. Now, it only displays in HD, that's 1080p, or what we used to call 2K, but you can input up to 4K, and it looks fabulous on the screen. You can run some of those 4K nature videos, and it looks really, really top-notch. So for a lot less than a brand new 75-inch flat screen TV, I've ended up with a really great viewing experience. This room is flooded with light during the daytime, so it's not really much use during the day. But if you've got a room that you can darken, close the curtains, or you only watch the TV at night time, then this is actually a less expensive and I think high quality experience. Now, Alpha Bravo says, better get an Epson, BenQ or Sony. Sure. But these are only 13,000 baht. If you want to get a Epson, BenQ or Sony, they're better projectors, brighter projectors mostly, not so much better, but brighter. You're going to be paying a lot more, like 2 or 3 times as much. So you can get some of those different technologies, higher end technologies. But this, for 13,000 baht, is a fantastic picture at a fantastic price. So I'm talking about not the best video projector around. I'm talking about a solution that is really very, very good. I also put a nice little cloth over it at night time, keep the humidity out of it when it's not being used. It's got a built-in fan. It doesn't seem to get particularly hot, but it's all built into this sort of single box. And no matter where you put it, it'll change the parallax and the keystoning to adjust to your screen. So you can point it up like that or point it down like that, and it still will focus onto your screen or your white wall. So I found this very easy to use, takes 30 seconds to boot up, and a very high quality picture for I think, a reasonable price. So $13,000 for this, delivered to my door in 2 days. Same with the projection screen. We had to put that together. It took two of us about half an hour. We hung it up on the roof, and it's sort of, at eye level. It's well situated. So we spent about 21,000 baht on a 100-inch screen, a viewing experience. So personally, I'm very happy. If you want a cinematic quality projection screen, then you're probably going to have to pay more than this. But for me, and I'm pretty picky with my pictures, this comes up with I think, a very good result for some, in my case, about 21,000 baht. HD is 720p. No, HD is 1080p. I work in this industry, so I think I should know. So yeah, this is 1080p. Progressive scan, not interlaced. I think in the early days they used to call 720p HD. That's when we were sort of working in 240 or 480. But now these days we sort of define HD as 1080p or 2K. Anyway, people are going to get very picky about all this technical stuff because some people just live and die by it. I'm just giving you a boomer's view of what I think is a really good product. So it is 1080p. However you want to describe it, it's 1080p. Okay, salt destroys TVs. Yes, my friend on Main Beach Gold Coast have to go through them every couple of years due to components rusting. That's from Tony Bosey. You're absolutely right. I've lost 2 microphones. This is my 3rd microphone. I'm much more careful now about trying to protect our electronic gear. I've got not a PlayStation, what's it called? An Xbox, which I use for my Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm a bit worried about turning that on. I haven't turned it on for a couple of months. But yeah, I'm slowly closing up the house to get rid of these vents. I'll be putting an air conditioner in and a dehumidifier so that next year's wet season I'm not going to lose any more electronic equipment. It's also not good for your respiratory system having that constant exposure to high humidity. So I'm having a good old cough. Nebula projects 4K. Okay, so yeah, this is not a 4K projector. This is a 1080p projector. But for a 100-inch screen, and I'm sitting 4 meters away, it's cinematic and the picture quality is excellent. And if I put a 4K signal through it and it was projecting 4K, the amount of difference would be small amounts of percentage, nothing that's going to make me enjoy a film more or less. I stopped using TV in Thailand. iPad 13 is perfect for me. I suppose if you hold it close enough. Yeah, that looks cinematic, but a little bit close for a good experience. But some people watch movies on their phone. I can't think of anything worse. A director would roll in his grave, if he was dead, if he thought you were watching The Sound of Music on a 7-inch screen. I do like watching movies, and I watch a lot of concerts and stuff, because these days getting to concerts is very expensive and usually in other countries. So I enjoy watching concerts, some of which I pay for, on my big screen. This has also got a very good speaker. Now you could put a higher end speaker system for sure, but this with the sort of woofer system in it is actually very, very good. But it's not high end audio. You can also connect your headphones. You can also connect headphones by Bluetooth. It's a little bit strange because the projector's sort of here when I'm watching the TV, and so the picture's coming from there, but the sound's coming from over here. That's a bit weird. So I think at some stage I'll probably put some third-party speakers down the front near the screen. But for now, I'm very, very happy with this, and I just wanted to share that with you. So the other two things I wanted to briefly talk about were the changes to... I'll get to all your comments in a moment, all right? Because everybody's going, 2K is 440p and blah, blah, blah. Beats NTSC composite video. It certainly beats NTSC composite video. So I wanted to talk about the changes to the... if you want to talk about the specifics of TV technology, don't bother. I have a projector that has a 300-inch screen. I sit next door to watch it. That's huge. I've got a 100-inch screen. That's heaps big enough for me. That would be a very big, powerful projector onto a 300-inch screen. My goodness. Let's have a talk about the situation with, here we go, the alcohol sales in Thailand. And Bangkok Post says that the policy board has lifted the afternoon ban on alcohol sales. For 53 years now, I said 1975 yesterday, in fact it's 1972, we used to not be able to, well I don't drink anyway, it doesn't bother me, but people weren't able to buy alcohol between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. If you went into 7-Eleven or into your supermarket, you could go and maybe pick up a beer, but you get to the checkout and they go, my day, you cannot. So they've lifted this afternoon booze ban. Now it seems to be universal, in other words, not just in tourist areas, but everywhere around Thailand. So it's a trial period for 6 months, and they haven't told us exactly when it's going to start, but let's go through the story and see if we can figure it out. So it says the National Alcohol Policy Committee has agreed to scrap the long-standing ban on the sale of alcohol beverages between 2 and 5 p.m, citing the need to boost spending during festive seasons. So I wonder if they go out and have a drink after the meeting. I don't know, just thinking. The new regulation expected to take effect 15 days after public consultation without requiring cabinet approval. A lot of people, when I talk about these changes to rules and stuff, they go, oh, it has to go into the Royal Gazette. Well, in the vast majority of cases, it doesn't need to go into the Royal Gazette to become a new law or a new guideline or a new rule. Ministries are conferred with a lot of authority to change things within their purview. So if they want to change the ban on alcoholic beverages from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, or change the types of spirits that can be served at a certain time, they have that within their authority without getting approval from Cabinet, without it having to go to Parliament. It's like the changes to the guidelines on cannabis. They haven't changed the legal status of cannabis. It's still legal in Thailand, but now apparently you're meant to get a prescription before they'll issue you with it. A lot of people don't. And also they've added other sort of guidelines, the age of which people can be served with cannabis, and the locations of cannabis shops, etc. The minister, the public health minister, has the ability to change those guidelines, to change it from a recreational status, which it never was anyway, and confirm it as a medicinal status. So they can do all those things without having to sort of get the Parliament involved or getting it signed off by the palace. So ministers in Thailand do have a lot of authority to change snippets and guidelines. I mean, if they wanted to change, signs at the front of shops can't be 100 centimetres anymore, they can only be 90 centimetres. The minister, whoever, that Minister of Planning, doesn't have to go to the Cabinet to make that change. They can make those changes without it all having to go through the additional paperwork. Anyway, back to alcohol. The panel has to decide whether to extend the drinking hours at entertainment venues. So at the moment, I think the limit is 1 a.m. So are they going to officially extend the drinking hours at entertainment venues, given that most entertainment venues open past those times, and with a bit of a wink and a nod, and perhaps even an alleged payment to the local police, they can operate beyond those hours? But are they now going to make it official that, say, entertainment venues can extend the serving of alcohol beyond 1 a.m? Speaking after chairing the committee's second meeting, the Deputy Prime Minister said that the move aimed to stimulate tourism and economic activity during peak tourism periods. I think they did a bit of damage by saying earlier in the week that they were not only going to enforce the 2 to 5 p.m. alcohol ban, but they were going to fine and chase down foreigners who abused it. Not the people who sold it to them, but the actual foreigners. So all that's now been swept under the carpet, and they've now changed it so you can now buy alcohol between 2 and 5 p.m. And it cites this story: the afternoon sales ban was introduced long ago to prevent civil servants from drinking during office hours. I was told 100 stories over the years, but it was also given the impression that it was to stop kids getting access to alcohol in the afternoons. I'm not sure where that story came from. I've heard so many stories over the years. This one seems to, it's all sort of lost in the midst of time. It all happened 53 years ago. Is there any information here about exactly when it's going to... No. So a bit further down there, the Deputy Prime Minister confirmed the ban between 2 and 5 would be revoked, while the final decision on whether drinking hours would be extended to 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. depends on further talks. My gut feeling is they probably will, at least for a 6-month trial, which will include the... phone calls come in. I can't take it, can I? Better not. So, yeah, I think you can come to Thailand now safely over the next 6 months and be able to, if you didn't already figure out how to do it, be able to get an alcoholic beverage between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. So there you go. Bill G's got a question. I suspect that as a business owner, you're paying Thai taxes. Can you? Yes. Can you update what the existing tax laws are for expats? Has that issue been settled, or is it still in flux? Well, the paying of taxes as a business owner hasn't changed at all. The tax rates are still the same. The issue has been about bringing monies in from overseas and the calendar year which you brought them in, and exactly where those monies came from and how you were going to be taxed. I don't have any more to say on that than has already been said by 1,000 people, so I'm not going to comment on that. Such to say that it's not really an issue for me. I pay taxes under the current tax laws, and they haven't changed for me at all as a business owner. Not as a business owner, but as a person who is involved in a business. The company pays the taxes. I pay taxes as a person earning money here in Thailand. The company pays separate taxes. So I pay like an income tax as well. Right, the other thing I just wanted to briefly talk about is the situation on the Thai border. Suffice to say, at the moment, the situation is, I think, as bad as it's been since they stopped throwing bombs on each other back in July. Now, there was a sort of an initial ceasefire brokered by the Malaysian Prime Minister as the chair of ASEAN, and that situation has been tenuous. We then had the sort of the high-level visit of the American president about 3 weeks ago now, to jointly, along with the Prime Minister from Thailand and Cambodia, and the chair of this person keeps on wanting to call. Could you please answer this? It sounds like somebody's desperate to get in contact with us. So they keep on calling, so we'll get someone to answer it. So with the visit of the American president, to be there present while they were signing, it wasn't a peace deal, it was really just reiterating what had been decided.
TNT Internet.
Okay, down at Bonneville, right, good. We had problem with our internet yesterday, so they're coming to fix it. Somebody had driven past with a high truck and broken one of the cables, so of course they said there's no internet at the beach house.
Yesterday, accident.
Motorcycle accident.
Yeah, and car.
Okay. No idea how a motorcycle was able to get 4 metres up in the air, but anyway, there you go. So it wasn't a peace deal, it was a reiteration of the original agreement, ceasefire agreement. But we were hoping that the gravitas of a visit from the President of the United States, him being present at that signing, would have perhaps given a bit more impetus or, I don't know, oomph to the ceasefire. But it was only a week later that the whole thing sort of descended into a morass, and we've now got shots being fired from both sides, Thailand and Cambodia. I think it was 4 more Thai soldiers were killed after stepping on landmines, and the war of words has started up again between Thailand and Cambodia, such that, well, obviously the borders aren't open, but the situation is worse now than it was a couple of weeks ago, and I consider it more tenuous than it was all the way back from that initial ceasefire in July. So the Thai-Cambodian border situation is a long way from being sorted out at the moment. And as I've said all along in my reporting of this, there's only 2 entities that can sort this out. And any pressure brought from superpowers, China, Russia, the US, ain't going to do nothing. There are also threats from the United States over the last week saying, okay, Thailand and Cambodia, we're going to change your trade arrangements. None of that's going to have any effect. They could put a 300% tariff on Thai and Cambodian exports. Wouldn't make any difference to the way that Thailand and Cambodia are going to sort out their differences. So I would warmly suggest that the superpowers just need to stand back and let ASEAN, together with Thailand and Cambodian leaderships, sort out this long-running border dispute. As I keep on saying, it's not about the dotted lines. This is my opinion, so you're welcome to disagree with me. It's not about the border. It's not about the dotted line on the border and is it this temple in Cambodia or is it in Thailand? It's about a whole lot of other things, and it's mostly to do or linked to the scam centres and the casinos in Cambodia. Thailand is trying to close these down because it's causing Thailand leadership a lot of problems. Now, the Cambodian economy relies so much on these casinos, and they're not casinos, they are basically just fronts for these industrial scale scam centres. And Thailand is now under a lot of pressure and from the international community. It's also under a lot of pressure from its citizens saying, you've just got to close these down. Now, because they're in Cambodia, they need assistance from the Cambodian authorities and the Cambodian government. But guess what? It appears that some of the leading members of the Cambodian leadership are not only involved, but even running some of these scam centres and casino operations. What the hell was that? Something went pop with the heat. Glad to say the sun's out. So the whole scam centre, the industrial scale scam centres, the money laundering, the use of crypto to launder all this money, and Thailand trying to get a grip on the way that they've been abused, their banking, their immigration system, to fuel the scam centres on the Myanmar side and on the Cambodian side, and Laos to a different extent. is now causing problems for people that are just wanting to visit Thailand, just want to open a bank account. So, yeah, these changes to immigration are all connected to the scam centres and Thailand trying to close it down. Are there Thai politicians involved? It appears yes. Are the Thai government trying to do something about that? Well, yes, yes and yes. And there's been a lot of pressure put on, I think 6 names have been named. There will be more. And if not the Thai government, certainly some very smart investigative journalists are now starting to name names and put Thailand under a lot of pressure. But the principal problems are in Myanmar and Cambodia, and Thailand is sort of the meat in the sandwich between these two countries that are basically just lawless, and Thailand's just trying to operate as best it can and sort out these problems. But they are sovereign countries. Thailand, even with the backing of the Chinese government, who are now getting people sent back to China, and they're sentencing them to death for their involvement in these scam centres. Even those two countries can't just storm into Cambodia and Myanmar as much as they'd like to and close down these scam centres. They know where they are. They know the people who are operating them, but they've buried themselves in so much paperwork, a network of spider webs and cryptocurrency and fake accounts. It's very difficult to really get to the nub of the problem. And the more we have this digital world, the easier it is to disguise who the real people are behind them. And because there's so much use of cryptocurrency these days, and there are a few, I think, Tether, I can't remember the names, Bitcoin's part of it, but there are 2 or 3 specific cryptocurrencies that are being used a lot to launder money from these scam centres back into cash in hand. Okay, so that's booze, border runs and border skirmishes, which were the 3 topics I wanted to talk about today. I'm sorry the whole program's been a bit meandering, including discussions about the video projector, but I don't know, I'm just in one of those moods today. There's plenty to talk about. So I'm now going to dedicate the rest of the program, I think I'll need that, but I can close that down, to talk to you and your particular questions. So very happy to do that, and let's get into it. So I'm going to roll back a little bit. Thank you to all the people that have joined in. Hey there, Tim, and everyone in here. Air fryer has other bomb. Is that your new clock radio? I suppose it does tell the time up in the sort of the corner of the screen. An ozone generator. That's an interesting one. I live near the ocean, so I've got plenty of negative ions. I don't need an ozone generator. A portable air conditioner. Oh, wouldn't that be good? Do they make them this small? I think there was a company that was trying to flog them, these tiny little portable air conditioners, but they didn't really work, and you had to keep on filling them up with water. And that sort of air conditioning doesn't work very well in these climates. It just throws extra humidity into already very humid air. Okay, guess it's a slushy margarita maker. George Foreman Grill. A lot of people still guessing what it was. It's a plug-in air conditioning unit. Gee, I wish it was. I will be putting air conditioning into this room. It'll have to be a big one, unfortunately, because it's a huge open area of about 11 metres by 11 metres with some other rooms connected to it. So it's a big open area. It's going to take a few watts to cool it down. There's a 6-month tourist visa, but you must leave every 60 days. Yeah, so if you do want to stay in Thailand long term, the best thing you can do is not go onto a Facebook forum, but go to your Royal Thai Embassy in your home country, make an appointment and go and talk to them and say, what's the best way? Now, different countries have got different visas available in some cases, or different qualifications for some visas. So it's not quite a one size fits all, and that annoys people as well, because it's, there's no black and white answers to a lot of these questions. But yes, there is a 12-month tourist visa that you can apply for. So people saying, is it a BYD or an MG? Talking about my electric car. Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not either. Over 200 people watching, but only 20 likes. Hit the like button, please. Yes, thank you, Stephen. Hit the like button. There's also buy me a coffee if you do enjoy the information we pass on, if you find it useful and you feel inclined, not obligatory at all, but there's a buy me a coffee account that's in the description of this video. Wanbo Mozart. Yes, this is a Wanbo, W-A-N-B-O, Mozart Pro 1. And they're 12 or 13,000 baht. Now, there's an earlier version that you can get for 3,000 or 4,000 baht, but it's quite inferior to this product. Good morning, Tim. Immigration changed their laws yesterday and always enjoy your show. Thank you for keeping us up to date. Yes, the laws that have been changed, or the rules, are related to extensions of visa exemption. Not that the visa exemption is exactly the same as it was since July last year. For 93 countries, it's 60-day visa exemption. So you don't need a visa if you want to come to Thailand. You can just arrive with your passport and they'll stamp you in for 60 days. It's the extensions that have now been changed. Scroll back and you can check all that out. Okay, greetings everyone from the Royal Orchard Sheraton on the Chao Phraya River. Nice digs. Scott. Okay, welcome Scott back to Thailand. My family and I arrived to Bangkok from Chicago this morning at 4 a.m. After a 27-hour commute, I'll have to watch replay. Go to bed, Scott. Steve, he also had a long run. He had to go from something airport in Iowa to Chicago O'Hare, and through O'Hare Airport to, it wasn't Dubai, it was Abu Dhabi, I think, and then from Abu Dhabi to Phuket. So 3 lots of flights over about a 30-hour period. I just can't do that anymore. I'm not interested in doing that anymore. If I'm going to take a flight, it'll be maximum 6-7 hours. Maximum. I'm not going to fly any longer than that. Otherwise, I would want to break it up with a few days at the place it's stopped at. So yeah, I just don't do long economy flights anymore. It's just not in me anymore. I can't afford to sit up the front of the plane, so I'm having to rough it down the back with everybody else, and that's fine for a short trip. Even 7 hours to Kazakhstan last year was a push. I was in a brand new Airbus 321, lovely plane, pretty much a new plane. But, the seats are about this far apart. I'm only 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", 173, 174 centimetres. And it's too small for me, let alone the 6'3" people who are also jammed into the same seats. Okay, my phone's ringing again. See what's going on here. Anything I need to worry about? No. I sent a message to the wrong person. How many hair extensions do I need to stay 90 days? How many hair extensions? Oh, I get it. Humour. Good morning, Tim. Immigration change. We've got that. Greetings, everyone. So, welcome, Scott. Sunset Beers. I've seen some people on DTV for education purposes being grilled at immigration at the airport to check whether they're really studying. Well, sure, I mean, they're entitled to ask you questions, and if you're on a DTV and you're here to study, I suppose they're entitled to ask you show me your course details. And for people who just say that it's harder to get into Thailand at the moment, harder to get an extension, harder to get a bank account, just remember that the Thai authorities are just well entitled to try and claim their country back after allowing people in willy-nilly for so long. People sort of got used to the lax laws and the lax immigration and the lax banking here in Thailand. And this is what's enabled these scam centres to happen in Cambodia and Myanmar principally. Now, there aren't any of these industrial scale scam centres in Thailand. There are scammers in Thailand, but there's none of these huge buildings and, fronted with a casino with 3 tables in the front room. That doesn't exist in Thailand. They're all across the border or deep inside those 2 particular countries. Here we go. There is, we estimate, from the surveys we've seen and some anecdotal discussions I've had with people, that the number of foreigners who have been affected by the banking situation in Thailand is between 2 and 5%. So not all foreigners are having trouble with their bank accounts. I, touch wood, haven't had any problem, but some people have. But it's apparently only about 2 or 5%. And they may have been bank accounts opened by, for example, an agent who maybe didn't cross the T's and dot the I's, and perhaps for the purposes of getting a retirement visa, for example, put 800,000 into a brand new bank account and then took it out the same day. That practice is less likely these days. Still happens, but it's a lot less likely because some of those bank accounts opened in that situation, they now want more evidence that it's a legitimate Thai bank account. Trip on this question: what if you had a 30-day, then come via a land border, then you must get a 7-day so that you come back and get your stuff and go home? If you've come into Thailand, if you've had a 30-day extension, then come back in via a land border, they'll stamp you in for 60 days, then you must, but they won't give you another extension. That's what's happening here. So if you come into Thailand on a land border, they're not going to give you an extension. Simple as that. What about extending METV only once per year too? What about extending METV? I don't know what METV is. I probably do, but it doesn't come to mind. Sorry, GBB6X. But all you do is get a visa at any office after 60 days. But all you do is get a visa at any office. Hendrik Kush Hollander. I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, you could leave the country and get a tourist visa and return to Thailand. The changes are the extensions, okay? It's the extensions that have been changed. The availability, the legality, and the length and the issuance of extensions, not the original visa exemption or tourist visa. Kids are swimming in the hotel pool. Bye, everyone. See you, Scott. FIFO, same as the mines, etc. Don't understand any of your messages. I'm sorry. We call it Drill Island in German. I don't know what we're even talking about at the moment. It's a problem coming back to things I spoke about half an hour ago. I can't remember what I said 10 seconds ago, let alone half an hour ago. Learn Thai, says somebody. Brian Wood says, my understanding is that you get 90 days, 60 plus 30, and if you leave and return, you'll get another 60 days, but this can only be extended for 7 days. Yeah, that's about right. So that you can get 60, extend for 30, leave the country by air or sea, not by land, and you come in by air or sea, you can get another 60 days, but you can only extend it for 7 days the second time around. Indonesia can come and go no problem. Now, to all the people that say to me, oh, look, it's easier to go to Philippines, it's easier to go to Malaysia, it's easier to go to Indonesia, it's easier to go to Vietnam, oh, they're just letting anybody in. You can be absolutely 100% cast iron, gold-plated, guaranteed that they're going to have exactly the same problems Thailand has had over the past decade with people abusing their immigration system, and they will be tightening the rules. You can bank that. I can give you a cast iron, rock-solid guarantee. Now, at the moment, some of those countries have got a greater flexibility when it comes to retirement visas, when it comes to things like arriving on a tourism visa or visa exemption, sometimes up to 90 days renewable. Those situations will tighten up, guarantee that. But at the moment, yes, you can go to Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, and those countries are fantastic. But they're in Malaysia, Vietnam. Cambodia is a bit of a failed state at the moment. I'd be concerned about my safety if I was going there, but some people are very happy to still go to Cambodia. And I think in most places like Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, you're going to be generally safe. But there is a safety question, I think, over travels to Cambodia at the moment. That's my opinion. Some people will disagree with me. I think I'd be able to get some sort of evidence together and prove that as well. But as far as I'm concerned at the moment, that's my anecdotal opinion. But if you want to stay in Thailand, if you want to visit Thailand, if you want to stay in Thailand long term, if your partner is Thai, if you've got businesses in Thailand, you need to figure your way around the systems that exist at the moment. You can't just go to Cambodia. Now, it's also true that Thailand is more expensive than some of these other countries in some places for some particular things. But when it comes to, not so much Malaysia, but when it comes to comparing Thailand to Vietnam or Thailand to Laos, or Thailand to Cambodia or Thailand to Indonesia, Thailand is a much more sort of sophisticated, I suppose, when it comes to things like healthcare, food choice, tourism infrastructure. If you're looking for those things, you're going to find a lot more of it, a lot more matured than in some of these other countries. Now, there's no doubt Vietnam's going to catch up very quickly. They've got an economy this year that's going to go to 8 or 9% improvement on last year's GDP. Thailand's going to struggle to get to 2%. Malaysia's also going to be 2 or 3% GDP increase this year. Malaysia also has a very modern, relatively sophisticated immigration, food choices, things like tourism industry, choice of hotels. So, and it's very safe there as well. Indonesia, a bit less so. But if you want to come to Thailand, you want to come to Thailand. If you want a cheap holiday or if you want easier access to immigration options at the moment, okay, there's plenty of other choices in Southeast Asia. And all I can say is good luck to you. Somebody asked me the other day, I think it was Bill G, are there any expats left in Thailand? I said, I think there's only 3. Me, Bill, and Steve Ross, who just came back. The truth is there are more expats living in Thailand this year than there were last year. So this whole idea that all the expats are packing up and moving to Vietnam or Philippines or Indonesia is just a cute internet meme. There are people moving to those countries, but whilst there might be 100,000 moving out to those countries, there's another 100,000 coming to live here in Thailand. So I think we just need to keep our eyes on the facts and what's actually happening and not get caught up in all this froth and bubble of internet memes. How much for the projector, says Evil Twin? I paid about $12,500 for this one. You can get them on Knock Knock, you can get them on Lazada, you can get them on Shopee, and they will deliver them to your house within 2 or 3 days. But this is a great idea on an up to 100-inch screen, but make sure you've got a dark room or you only watch TV at night, this during the daytime is not a good experience. Okay, how much for the projector? I just did that. Is it a nebula? No, it's not. It's a Wanbo, W-A-N-B-O, Mozart Pro 3. And for those people that have just joined us, it's a new video projector I got, and I'm singing the praises of it. I think it's very high quality. It's not a Sony or a BenQ or a 30, 40, 50, 60,000 baht projector. This is a much lower cost projector, but great bang for buck. If you've got the dark room, if you've got a good screen, this is a really good solution. I'm very, very happy with it. I've always found the picture quality of projectors very underwhelming, says Confucius says. Yeah, same with me. This is a step up of what I've seen in the past, and the technology is obviously improved. If you go for some of those high-end video projectors, they're just phenomenal, as good as you'll see at the cinema. Remembering when you go to the cinema these days, you're watching a video projector. There's no 35mm film passing through that projector anymore, unless you go to one of a few IMAX cinemas in major capital cities where they're actually running film through those projectors. You're basically just watching a glorified and rather expensive video projector these days. The technology has really improved. Oh, the lens, not the lens, the lamp in this is, they say it will last for 30,000 hours. I worked it out, it's like 15 years or something. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about your projector going dark or the bulb blowing up. And by the way, Tim is the most legit Thailand YouTube news person. Brings it straight and unbiased, very good. If it's your first time watching. Thank you, Mr. DJL89. Are you 89 years old? Good luck. M. Maranta, what if a gecko crawls on your screen? What if a gecko crawls on your 75-inch flat screen? If a gecko crawls on the screen, as far as marking it, it won't mark it. I think the screen, I'll probably just give it a wipe with a slightly soapy, warm, wet cloth, maybe every couple of months. Otherwise, I imagine if I just left it alone, I know it's getting enough air circulation, it won't grow mould, but to keep it nice and clean, yeah, probably just a wet cloth every couple of months will suffice. Now, if the cat gets up there and decides to scratch it, well, that is going to make a problem for me. Watching for those cats. Can we see your electric car now? No. I have the Nebula projector and it's fantastic, says Glowbug. Movie nights is brilliant. It's bright enough to be used in the day also. If you get a higher end video projector and brighter, you can certainly use them during the day. They're never going to be quite as good as a good flat screen TV. But the big flat screen TVs are not particularly cheap. Electricity bill. How much electricity does this draw? Fuck all, really. I don't know the actual amount. I'm sure you could look up the specs. But the fan doesn't seem to make any noise that I can hear. And the globe is bright, but I don't think it's going to chew through a lot of electricity. I'll tell you at the end of the month. I'm sure recharging my electric car takes a lot more electricity than this little unit I might use for 2 hours in the evenings. I bought a BenQ with a new lamp off eBay, built a golf room here in Void Space and Condo Building during COVID. Brilliant and worthwhile project. Well done, Rond 1066. Can you connect to a sound system? Yes, you can connect this to an external sound system with a 3.5mm stereo plug, with an HDMI connection, or with a USB port. So 3 different ways you can connect. I will, I think, put an external sound system. Nothing fancy, but just getting the sound from the same direction as the picture, I think will just help my experience a bit. How far away from the screen do you need to put the projector? Oh, good question. This is not a short throw projector. This is so to get my 100-inch screen, the projector is about 3.3 meters away from the screen. So for a 100-inch screen, 3.3 metre distance. That's the minimum. You can actually go further back and you can zoom in and you can change the keystone or the corners and the parallax. You can do that manually or it'll do it automatically. But minimum, you're going to have to be for a 100-inch screen, 3.3 metres. Sorry, mixing my metrics and my imperials. That's just the way they measure screens. Still imperial for some reason. Yeah, LED screens still come in inches. Why? I stopped use TV in Thailand. iPad 13 is perfect for me. Okay, look, there's so many messages here, and I've already gone for an hour and a quarter. Try again, the place where you ordered your shirts last year. Oh, okay. K. John, this is a Banyan Tide shirt. You can type in Banyan, B-A-N-Y-A-N Tide, but I got my shirts last year on Lazada. So I've got 6 shirts from Banyan Tide, and all the other shirts I've bought on Lazada. I can't even remember the brand name. They're all about 120, 130 Thai baht. They're not expensive. They're all sort of made out of some polyester type material, which is great. It's light, it's airy, and it doesn't sort of get wet like a cotton does, pure cotton. And I can't remember the brand name, so you're just going to have to look it up. But they arrive on your doorstep about 2 or 3 days after you ordered them. I wear XL when it comes to shirts. In Australia, I'd be a medium or a large, probably large these days. But here in Thailand, I wear an Asian XL size. I get the 2 to 5, but what is after? Okay. This morning I got a message from the US Embassy warning citizens to be careful if in Cambodia and near the Thai border. Yeah, I wouldn't be going near the Thai-Cambodian border at the moment. I think if you visit those provinces like Buriram, trying to remember the sort of other provinces off the top of my head, Sisaket. If you go to the sort of Thai side of those provinces, I don't think you'll have any problems, and they're definitely worth visiting if you want to get out of some of the tourist magnets. But yeah, I wouldn't be going too close to the Thai-Cambodian border at the moment. And just my own point of view, I probably wouldn't be visiting Cambodia generally at the moment. I think there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't even know about at the moment. And until they sort of start getting these scam centres under control, I just think, personally, I wouldn't be visiting them. All power to you if you want to go there and enjoy the many, many wonderful sights. And I enjoy the food in Cambodia. And as I said, you're probably safe in Phnom Penh or in Siem Reap, but I definitely wouldn't be going to Sihanoukville under any circumstances. Perhaps they're considering making the recreational use of cannabis okay between 2 to 5 p.m. No, that won't be happening. Okay, I'm sort of going to go down the other end and just move back a bit here. I stopped using, okay, now 6-month tourist visa, but you must leave and come back every 6 years. Question, I suspect that, okay. So, my stream has stopped, how do I do this? My stream of comments stopped. I can renew it by doing this. So just give me a moment here, see if I can do this. Okay. So Thailand certainly has a very strange changing legislation and laws around alcohol. It seems to be put out the ideas and hope for the best. There's something to be said with that. Okay, so I'm good to visit for 5 months, 60 plus 30, fly back from another country, and another 60, then 7, right? Yes, trip on this. How much is your bills per month for electricity? Why don't you put a solar system in your house? Well, that's a good question. To put a solar system here will cost me, to do just my house, it's going to cost about 180,000 baht. I've certainly got space for the solar panels in my backyard. I wouldn't even have to put them on the roof. I get quite a lot of shade on my roof from around about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'd put them out in the yard where they're going to get, a lot more sunshine. But the electricity is not that expensive in Thailand. So to get your money back on solar, it's going to take 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And I only lease these properties. I don't own them. So to me, for now, the costs just don't sort of stack up. So I'll just keep on paying the electricity bills. And for me, it's the air conditioning that chews up the electricity. By far, all the properties, as soon as we get into the hot season, our electricity bills just double for a couple of months. So for this house, including charging the electric car, including the one air conditioner in the bedroom, it's around about 2,000 to 3,000 baht a month. If we don't use the air conditioner, it's going to go down to about 2,000 baht a month. If I didn't have the electric car, it would be about 1,000 baht a month. The electric car is a lot cheaper to run than putting petrol in a petrol engine car. Okay, some more. I just randomly choosing these. I'm sorry that it's taken so long to get to them. How much has Turtle Beach grown since Steve and you changed since your arrival? In past comments, you make it seem to be growing due to tourism. Look, it's probably naturally changed just because after COVID, everything's just become busier, particularly Phuket, which is the reason I moved out of it. Now, things have, they're a bit busier here. Not a whole lot busier, but they are busier over the past 2 years. There has been a bit of a scramble along the foreshore to take the lead from that stupid Australian guy who did a makeover on some of the old beach, the fishermen's cottages, and turned them into beach houses. There are a few copycats doing that now, which is fine. But really, it's still a quiet little sleepy beach village. And I think you could still say that. There are a few more Western faces around these days. But my bookings this year are much the same as they were last year. So I don't think we've had a profound change. And certainly Steve and I play it down. We say, if you want to come and visit here, great. If you want to come and move here to live, make sure you've got a partner. Make sure you love golf because it's a great golf course. Make sure you've got something to do. Make sure you've got something to keep you busy because you're going to get bored very, very quickly. There's no shopping centres. There's no bars. Well, there sort of is, little Thai karaoke bars. But the people don't usually go to karaoke bars to sing, if you get my meaning. So, it is a little quiet Thai town, and Steve and I and our living here has not changed that. Okay, Nathan says, so if you can afford to go to Singapore for 48 hours and come back, you're good. Sure. This is, if you want to get an extension to your visa exemption, you need to fly out of the country. If you go across a land border, they're not going to give you an extension anymore. That's the news. You look tall on TV, Tim. I don't know. How do I look tall when I'm sitting down? About 173, 174 centimetres. That's, probably lower than average in Australia. In Thailand, probably about average. God, there are some tall kids these days. It's 6 foot, 6'3". Whoa. And, a bit heftier these days too. Every second advert on YouTube is for plug-in cooler invented by that engineer from your country. Your car. You said something about showing the car. You said, no, I'm not showing the car today. Question, what do you think about the theory that the whole conflict has just been an excuse for China to further their military bases in Cambodia under the guise of peacekeeping? This from Weasel the Weasel. Well, I don't think that's part of it at all. China is as horrified about what's going on in Cambodia And now there are plenty of Chinese people involved in this. Some of them are Chinese, have Chinese origin, but have been given Cambodian citizenship so that they can sort of legally conduct themselves, open bank accounts, open companies, etc. But the Chinese government, given their response, they're truly horrified by what's going on. And China has been trying to establish a greater access to the waterways in Cambodia. They've provided assistance with the funding for this new canal in Cambodia, which will link pretty much Phnom Penh with the Gulf of Thailand when it's finished. They've only just started it. I think it's a 3 or 4 year project, but it's going to be like a Panama Canal and used, of course, for trade. Now, China has been doing a lot of foreign policy. I think a lot of people are suspicious about the foreign policy, but their Belt and Road policy by funding countries and funding infrastructure is basically just making it easier for people and trade to get to and from China. Now, you can dispute why they're doing it, but whilst another one of the superpowers has been building walls and closing its economy inside and internalising control, China spent the last 10 years or nearly 15 years reaching out and spending big time with this Belt and Road policy. Who are going to be the winners and the losers in this? I think we'll just have to wait for 10 or 15 years, 20 years, another generation to see who emerges the winner with their various current policies related to foreign policy. Another topic on another day. I can see plenty of people wanting to jump on and give us their opinions on that. That was my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree with me. Thailand's estimated to be an equivalent of DEFCON 3. Do with this information what you will. That's from Dildo Baggins. Look, the situation on the Thai-Cambodian border is not good. I don't believe that it's going to ramp up to sort of a war situation anymore. At the moment, it's tense. The clearing of landmines is a big issue, and the clearing of landmines along some of these disputed areas is a specific issue. But there's no artillery firing shells from one side to the other at the moment. We hope it doesn't revert to that. But anything listed in the peace agreement, it's sort of back to square one. And the Thais and the Cambodians are not talking at the moment. And you can be assured that the chair of ASEAN at the moment, which is Malaysia, and then by de facto the Malaysian Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim, will be trying to broker some sort of furtherance in another ceasefire and a continuance of what was written up a few weeks ago as a peace deal. It's not a peace deal. The only two countries that can strike a peace deal between Thailand and Cambodia are Thailand and Cambodia. I got internet in Chiang Mai by buying this AIS box, and it's wireless. No cables or fibre coming to the house. Yeah, I think that uses basically a SIM card. And I've looked at that. It's a bit expensive at the moment. At the moment, we're still connected to the wires passing by the houses. But I think that's a very, very good option. And when it becomes more available, 5G along this stretch is a little bit dodgy. It's okay in places. But until there's probably another tower somewhere locally, and the cost of those sort of SIM card boxes for Wi-Fi become available, we won't be changing to that. Hey, Tesla, SpaceX, make your Skylink, Luke Skywalker, what's it called? Sky thing. Make that available here in Thailand. I think a lot of people would use it. This morning I got a message from the US Embassy warning citizens, so I've done that. So thank you, everybody. Just going down very quickly here. Thanks for the bonus 30-minute live video. Thank you, Bill G. Thank you for watching. China says money number one, says M. Maranta. I really realised I overstayed my tourist visa in Cambodia by 4 days, trying to decide if I just pay the overstay fee or do an overnight in Bangkok, Singapore, KL or Hanoi. closer for you to go to Ho Chi Minh City, a $40 overstay fee or $35 visa extension. Just get it sorted out. Visa overstays don't get any better the longer you wait. Somehow I can understand, this is from Alpha Bravo, understand that Cambodia thinks the Khmer temple on the border belongs to them. Yeah, look, this is not about ancient temples. It is absolutely nothing to do with ancient temples. This is all to do with who's managing and who's getting the money from these scam centres. The rest is all froth and bubble. And the sooner we can get some control and close down these scam centres, the better. That's going to be very difficult. Thanks, everybody. I've got other things to do. I've been talking for an hour and a half. I'm getting hoarse. We've had a wide-ranging discussion about a wide range of things. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, to invest your time in making some comments. Even when you disagree, that's fine. I think it's great to have freedom of speech, freedom of discussion. Just don't target each other, don't target the commenters, and we're free to go. I thought you left the country to renew your work permit last year. Yes, I did. I misspoke when I said I haven't been out of the country since Kazakhstan. I did go to Malaysia earlier this year to get a new visa, which I did, and I now have. I hope I don't have to do it again next year. Thanks for watching. Have a great Saturday. Steve and I will be back tomorrow with Grumpy Old Men, and I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing all about Steve's visit to his 93-year-old mother and his very good friend Amy, and all the things happening in Iowa. So stick around for that tomorrow, and we appreciate you dropping in. Don't forget you can buy me a coffee if you feel inclined. There's a link in the description. Sorry, I just had to say it. So see you later, and I've got to click on that and say goodbye.